What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Sunday. It is May 11th. It is Mother's Day. We are back. If you've never been with us before, hopefully you're in for a treat. So you can probably already tell there's already chapters to this video, and there's already the, it's probably a little bit longer than what you're used to. So if that is the case, welcome to the channel. Here's what we do. We look at all the games. We look at all the pitchers, all the batters. We look at historical matchups. We look at BVP. We look at batter splits. We look at it all. We use outlier.bet, and you guys can too. So we'll talk about all of that. You can find everything that you need that we're going to talk about in the description of this video, along with our email if you have questions, or our free Discord, which you can find right below. So that being said, we also try to have giveaways every single day, 2 to be exact. And here's how you could win. For doing the bare minimum, here's how it is. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. You do all 3 of those, and this video gets at least 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. 100 likes on this video, a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, you will have a shot at a lifetime pass worth $500. Second way to win, somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it, type it in, and have your second shot at a free week of FTA+. Now we're going to roll this here. We had a minimum of 50 likes in Saturday's video, so that is the bare minimum what we need to do to get this ball rolling. And even if this first comment has the keyword from yesterday, we're still going to re-roll it. And we've had a lot of people win back-to-back days or multiple times, and you guys can too. So TJ Cola, congratulations. I know you won in the past. I don't remember when it was, but I do remember. So please email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Let me know if you have a username on the website. If you do, I just need your username. I don't need your password. If you do not, I will need a username, email, and password, and we will set you up on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com for your free pass. Now, the keyword was Flamingo from yesterday. We're still going to re-roll it, so you still have a shot to win yet again. So make sure every time you guys left a comment, you've had that keyword in that comment so it can help. So the winner, there you go. Ivan, congratulations. Thank you. I enjoyed my Flamingo shirt as well. You had the name in there. Please email me confirmation that you know. Say you are the 510 keyword winner, and we will set you up your account. Now, Ivan has won multiple times in the past couple of weeks, and you guys can too. It is very easy. It is very simple. You just got to continue, come back, comment, like the video, and be a winner. Now, after we go through every single game and pitcher, we're going to do every game but the Sunday Night Baseball game. Then I'll have a separate video, just like we did last Sunday. We'll break down the game. We'll look at the pitchers, the batters, the weather, the ballpark factors, everything. We'll even use Outlier, and we'll use SaberSim to build you guys a couple of lineups on Fanduel and DraftKings. So that being said, after we're done with the slate for Sunday, we will do a couple more segments. So the first segment will be the matchup tool. So what we do is during this video, or before this video, we ran 10,000 simulations. I'm going to give you all of the batters that popped on the sims after 10K that have 10 out of 10 matchup rating. If you want to see the rest of them, they will be on the website later on under the MLB tab under matchup tool. After that, we're going to do our Pitches Be Crazy segment, where we look at the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most out of all of the teams. We look at the pitchers that go up against them. So you can either use that for sports betting or DFS. And then finally, after that segment, we will do our make and bake and bet. So we'll use everything we just talked about, and we'll look at the batters that we think could get over 1.5 bases. We'll also maybe, if they've got great matchups, for possible home runs. And then at the very end, we will look at the pitchers and maybe some of the strikeout rates, or what I would target in those rates. So that being said, we have a couple of weather concerns. We do at Tampa Bay is one. Or maybe that might be the only one. I think that's the only one. Should be good to go. 2, 4, 6, 8 game Maine, 12 game there. And then you got a couple of those every Sunday. You've got those games in the middle where it's, and is it the Colorado game this time? I'm assuming it is. It's always, and it seems like it's always Colorado. There's that game in the middle that it's not on the slate for DraftKings. It is on like the all day slate on FanDuel. And then it's just kind of like that. So we're going to go through everything, and we are going to start with the St. Louis Cardinals at the Washington Nationals. You got Mackenzie Gore versus Miles Mikolas. And so we've got this very early game, Chicago at the Mets. We're not going to cover. It is not on there. It is very early only, usually on FanDuel. And it's the not, I think it's Roku game of the week or something instead of Peacock. So it's neither here nor there. So that's Cubs Mets that we're not even going to talk about. So we are going to look at St. Louis Cardinals at the Washington Nationals. We've got Mackenzie Gore coming in against the Cardinals. Game log wise, he has not faced them this year. He's got a 3.33 ERA, 68 strikeouts, 100 pitches. I mean, he's right around the 100 pitch mark every single game. And what we look for, at least on DraftKings, is 2 to 2.5 times value, meaning he is 10,100, so he's got to get 20 plus to hit the value that we need. Basically, 20 to 25 is kind of the sweet spot, what you would look for there. On FanDuel, it's basically 50 to 60 because the scoring is different. So we look at that. He did come off 22.5 against Cincy. Great. The offense in that ballpark is usually a ballpark that doesn't bode well for pitchers, but he worked out there. His strikeouts have been high. He's got 13 strikeout games. He's going up against St. Louis, so St. Louis doesn't strike out a ton. They strike out 7th least, so only 7.67. So you might not be looking at strikeouts as much, but he is always in a great spot there. But they just mashed on Friday, I believe they just mashed Mitchell Parker, a lefty there. So they can hit. And that's what we're going to talk about. We are going to look at that with Outlier. And I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Then you got Mr. Miles here, 4.77 ERA. I mean, he's coming off bad start against Pittsburgh, which is a great matchup for him, and he didn't do anything. He's made it to 6 innings one time this year. Hasn't really hit value as much as we need. He scares me a little bit. I'm probably not using the pitching in this one, and we're just going to look. So Mackenzie Gore, and then historical is what I really like. So we are using Outlier. The link to sign up is down below. You're going to get a 7-day free trial. After those 7 days, if you guys decide to go with their normal package, we're going to give you a free week on top of you getting Outlier if you use our link and can show us proof they used our link. If you go with their premium package, we're going to give you a free month of FTA Plus, which is a $30 value on top of the value you are getting out of Outlier. So we look at Washington bats against Miles here. Josh Bell does have 2 home runs. Being a switch hitter is pretty good for him there. They really haven't had success against him. But then this is what I want to break down. This is why I love Outlier. You see all the green. They hit righties very well. So Riley Adams, okay. Now it is Sunday. It's the day of rest. So a lot of catchers do sit on Sunday. So that's definitely something to look at. But Kyber Ruiz at 301. CJ Abrams batting 306. Luis Garcia batting 252. We love Nate Lowe against righties. Got 6 bombs, 278. Alex Call, you don't see it because it's in red because he hits lefties better. But he's still batting 318. You got James Wood batting 268, which is 20 points above, 24 points. It's either 24 or 26 points above league average right now. 7 bombs out of him. So I am all in on looking at Washington as a stack. And then St. Louis against Mackenzie Gore. Like Arenado does have a home run against him. Mason Wynn does as well. And we look at this. They really don't hit lefties as well, but Brendan Donovan's still batting 308 against them. You've got Nolan Arenado batting 375. Pages batting 280. Like, that's okay. Now, they can put up runs. Honestly, looking at this, maybe Mackenzie Gore for a little bit, but he is cheap. But I will have no exposure to Michaelis here whatsoever. I'm still feeling more of a Washington stack, but you could go both sides. And I'll let you guys know right now, I'm not right every day. Like, if I was, I'd be a trillionaire, but I am not. So I am just here giving you guys as much information as I possibly can. If it's useful for you, leaving a like helps. If you can't sign up or donate to our CashApp, Venmo, or PayPal, watching these videos in entirety all the way through, maybe a couple of times a day, liking them, sharing them, all of that helps. Every single part of that helps us out. And I want you guys to know that it is very much appreciated when you guys do that. So we got Atlanta at Pittsburgh. You got Chris Sale versus Majinski. Chris Sale in his career 29 plate appearances, 179. We used him as last start. He was the picture of our video 5 days ago. Put up 30 fantasy points at 8,800. They did. So he started off slow this year. Still has a 4.07 ERA, but he has a great matchup against Pittsburgh. So I love Chris Sale, and he's under 10K. I want me some Chris Sale again. Just hopefully he gets some run support behind him. Then Majinski comes in, 6.16 ERA. He has not hit double digits except for 1 game against St. Louis. I want nothing to do with him. I'd rather look at the Braves bats, and I'd rather look at Chris Sale here. So we look at that, and that's kind of exactly where I'd go in this situation. So if we look at the Pittsburgh bats against Sale, no one's really had success. I'm not looking at Pittsburgh bats. I am focusing in on Atlanta Against Machinsky, Matt Olson does have a home run, but against right-handed pitching is what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at Matt Olson. I'm looking at Michael Harris II. I'm looking at Alex Verdugo. I'm looking at Eli White. I don't know if Eli White will be in there, but I would look at him. Ozuna batting 280. Nick Allen is 270, which would be cheap. Baldwin as your catcher. He might start today. I would look at them. 292 batting average, 2 home runs there. If Sean Murphy is in there, he's still got 5 bombs against right-handed pitching. So I'm fading Pittsburgh bats. I'm fading Majinsky. I'm looking at Chris Sale, and I'm looking at the Braves as one of my top stacks for the day. Next game is Milwaukee at Tampa Bay. Now, this is a batter's ballpark. It's a minor league park. There is some weather concern. So we do have Drew Rasmussen versus Chad Patrick. Rasmussen, 309 batting average, or ERA against him. He really hasn't hit value his last 3 starts. And now and 2 of those were at home. Again, the ballpark, the ball flies out. It just depends on what kind of weather we are going to get. So he started off the first 4 starts pretty good. Didn't hit value there. You need 2 to 2.5, like I said. And then it's just gone down, just progressively gone down. I don't trust that. He's pitching at home yet again. That scares me. And then Chad Patrick, I believe we used him the other day. Yeah, we used him against Houston because he was so cheap at 7,400 on that slate. 6.2 innings, 1 home run, 6 Ks. Now he's going up against Tampa Bay. They're not as good of a team. I don't know what we'll get out of that. That's always something to look at. Like Chad Patrick has never faced them before, so we always like to take that because the batters have never faced him outside of just seeing what's on a screen while they're kind of looking. I always give a little bit of boost to the pitcher in that instance. But that being said, this ballpark scares me. The weather might scare me a little bit. So I think it's only probably tournament only. I don't think it's outside of, I don't think I would look outside of tournaments because that would scare me a little. But if we are looking at like Milwaukee bats against Rasmussen, really haven't seen him, but against right-handed pitching, like William Contreras is good. Batting 294 this year. He is playing with a fractured finger. I don't know which one. That's obviously big deal when you're swinging a bat. But Bryce Terang batting 337. Isaac Collins batting 346. I love those guys there. Yelich, 6 bombs. I would look at those guys. Rhys Hoskins batting 274. All of those are ones that I would definitely look at here. Tampa Bay bats against Patrick. They've never faced him before against righties like Diaz, Lau, Morel, Simpson because of his speed. Jonathan Aranda still batting 353 against righties this year. I'm okay with them. I'll have a little bit of exposure of them, but I'll be cautious on them. Texas at Detroit. Detroit's one of the hottest teams this year, which is wild to say. You got Nate Eovaldi going up against Reese Olson. So Eovaldi here. We took him against Boston his last start. 6 innings, 7 Ks. Like that's basically what you're kind of getting out of him. 7 to 8 strikeouts in a game. He is going up against Detroit. In his career, 78 plate appearances, a 219 batting average against the current roster. But I mean, 20 plus fantasy points in every start there. Still sub 10K, so we're pretty good there. Reese Olson, on the other hand, we used him against the Angels because the Angels at that time they still are. They're the second most prone strikeout team. He's averaging the last 3, 8, 7, and 7 strikeouts there. Double digits against the Angels. Does go up against Texas, so not as good a matchup as he had against the Angels. He is 8,300, so we always look at that. 23 plate appearances, 348 batting average against him, so Texas can hit. I don't mind either of these pitchers for tournaments. It just depends on which what team's going to show up for the day. So we look at Texas bats against Reese Olson. No one has a home run. Against right-handed pitching, though, they are hitting pretty well this year. So I would look at Corey Seager batting 348. Josh Smith is batting 342. Got Wyatt Langford batting 289 with 4 bombs. He steals bases as well. Adolis Garcia batting 230, 5 home runs. Like, it's making sense. Josh Young, 280, 200, or 2 home runs. If you look at Detroit against Eovaldi, because I will have some Eovaldi exposure there, but I could see you fading him and going Detroit because how they've been hitting. So if you look at it, like overall, like Dingler, he'll probably start on a Sunday. 2 home runs, 292. Colt Keith with 250 batting average. I would look at Torque a little bit. 242 batting average, 5 home runs. Carpenter has 6 home runs. Riley Green has 7. Those are all fantastic. Gleyber Torres is another one I'd look at. Javi Baez is coming along. He's hitting 304 this year against righties, which is wild. I told you I'd never use him. I'm changing it. I'm going to tell you I was wrong. I haven't used him for a long time. If I'm making a stack, I think Baez maybe gets in that stack. Next game is the Miami Marlins versus Chicago White Sox. Alcantara, I don't know what's going on with him. I really have no idea what's going on with it. In my mind, I can't figure out why he's so bad, but he has been. So we've got Alcantara coming in. In his career, 20 plate appearances, 176 batting average. The White Sox are obviously a bad team, but he has been very bad. Comes in with an 8.42 ERA. Really hasn't hit value at all this year. He did hit twice. He's hit value twice this year. The first 2 starts of the year, and then since then it's gone downhill. I know the White Sox are a very bad team. This is one where Alcantara probably should be 7K or sub 7K like he was, but they bumped him up because of the White Sox. So I will have some exposure just because of how bad the White Sox are, but this just feels like a trap. Like he's that expensive. Maybe we look at a Chicago stack. Burke comes in, 4.35 ERA. Not bad. He's never faced Miami before, so we give that a boost a little bit. If we look at that and we take a little gander here, Alcantara against White Sox, Rojas has a home run. Vaughn has a home run. Maton has 2. Like, they've hit him. Against right-handed pitching this year, they're not really doing well, but this one just feels like maybe we wait to see which White Sox team comes out, like what the lineup is, and then build against it because of how bad Alcantara is. But you got to remember, really didn't pitch for 2 years, was a Cy Young last time he did pitch. Tommy John kind of derailed it. He's got great stuff. He just hasn't really shown it this year. Miami bats against Burke. Haven't seen him, but against right-handed pitching, like Ramirez is batting 326, Hicks is batting 300, Cortez is batting 333, Simon is batting 313, Myers is batting 306, Stowers has 244 batting average, 6 bombs. I might not use the pitching in this. I might just go with the bats, which is crazy to say, but I think those are 2 under-owned stacks that people might not think about unless you guys are watching my videos. Let me know if you use them on Monday, and then let me know if it worked out. So then Cincy versus at Houston is the next game. We have Ronel Blanco versus Andrew Abbott. It might not be Andrew Abbott. I mean, he did pitch on Tuesday, so it is his turn in the rotation. But according to Baseball Savant, it's Chase Petty. So it might not be Abbott, so it's kind of hard to go against this game. I will have Blanco because Cincy does strike out now, the 4th most, right above the Yankees right now. So I'll have a little bit of Blanco against them. Really hasn't had value the past couple of games. Been very iffy this year. Cincy on the road, though, we could definitely look at that and look at Blanco a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be Abbott or Petty, so I can't really go against it. So pitching-wise, I would look at Blanco. If it's Petty or Abbott, I wouldn't. Can't really discuss Houston right now. But if we do look at that game later, we'll already have 20,000 sims in. We'll have the updated pitcher for projection simulations and all of that on the website. But I will have some Blanco there. Then San Francisco at Minnesota is the next game. You got Landon Rout versus Pablo Lopez. Lopez comes in 218 batting average. We used him against Baltimore his last start. Only went 5 innings. Would love to see him gone further. But he had 98 pitches and 11 strikeouts. So he almost doubled his highest output. One more and he would have been doubled his most strikeouts all year. Now that was Baltimore. This is San Francisco. I would love this if it were in San Francisco a little bit more. But in his career against this current team, 52 plate appearances, a 118 batting average, striking out 40.4. That is what I'm looking at. I would look at Pablo Lopez, and then I would look at Minnesota bats against Landon, because Landon's almost a 5 ERA there. So if we're looking at this game, I'm definitely looking at the Twins bats over San Francisco right now. And I could be wrong, but Minnesota bats against they've never seen him, but against right-handed pitching, like Jeffers batting 272, France batting 301 with 3 bombs. You got Harrison Bader batting 296 with 3 bombs. You got Byron Buxton with 7 bombs, Larnack with 5. Like, the Twins make sense as a stack. Little cheaper in there, maybe Willie Castro, but that is where I'd go. I would look at Minnesota bats, and I would definitely take a look at Pablo Lopez in that. And then the final game of this early or main slate, Boston at Kansas City, is next. You do have Lucas Giolito versus Seth Lugo. Boston strikes out third most out of any team. Seth Lugo comes in, 2.84 ERA. This is in Kansas City. This is a pitcher's ballpark. So I would look at him against Boston. Usually when we've taken pitchers against Boston this year, they've gotten like 8+ strikeouts, and it's worked out. But Boston's offense has been pretty good, so that's one to look at. Then Giolito comes in. We stacked Texas against him his last start, and it was for a good reason. 6 earned runs there, 122 plate appearances against the Royals, 291 batting average. I'm not looking at Giolito. I'm looking at Seth Lugo, and I'm looking at Kansas City bats. So I would be looking at Jonathan India. I'd be looking at Bobby Witt Jr., depending on who's in there and who's going to play. Sal Perez, Furman, if he's in there. Again, depends on the catcher for the day. Against Giolito, Perez is batting .484 with 4 bombs against him. Great numbers. So hopefully he should be in there. I would look at Perez, Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at Hunter Renfroe. I would look at Pasquantino. I'd look at Drew Waters. Cheaper option, Kyle Isbell, Jonathan India. Like, today feels like one of those where we do a 2+ Kansas City stack, meaning there's more than 5 people that I like on this team. So we got to get different stacks, different combinations of Kansas City players in that one. So that is the main slate done. Got those 8 games done. And we have 4 afternoon games here because the Colorado game, and pretty much anytime we have a Colorado game in on a Sunday, it's the 3:10 Eastern. So it's in the middle and it's not on a slate here. Now, if it is on FanDuel, I would use Nick Pivetta a little bit, and I would use pretty much the entire Padres offense. I'm not looking at Marquez at all, and I'm not looking at the atrocious Colorado offense. So that brings us to the afternoon. We got the Yankees at the Athletics. So it's not confirmed yet, but it should be Clark Schmidt because he last pitched, I believe, on Tuesday. It is Severino going up against one of his former teams. Team he came up with his career. He pitched for the most there. He has kind of not hit value the past couple of games. My thought process is everyone on this team pretty much played with Severino. Coaches, scouting department, pitching coach, most of the Yankees batters. Not most, but the majority of them. When we have that much history, I lean towards the team that is hitting against him because they've scouted him. They know what he likes to throw in certain situations, in certain counts. That's my thought. I'm fading Severino. I could be wrong because the Yankees do strike out the 5th most. I could be wrong in that one, but he hasn't valued the last 3 starts. Well, last 2 starts he hasn't, and it's been very up and down. He could still get a ton of strikeouts. He could also do what he did against Seattle, get 4 or 5 earned runs and not look that way. And then you got Clark Schmidt. Didn't factor in on Tuesday. Made it to the 6th inning. We talked about that. He rarely ever gets through 6, and he did in that game against San Diego. 12.7. He didn't really hit value. He is going up against an Athletics team that can kind of hit. Scares me. I'm probably not using him, but if I do, it might be a little bit of Clark Schmidt. Athletic bats, like if you were to use any of them, obviously Soderstrom is one I'd look at. Jacob Wilson and Duhar, another one part against his former team. Brent Rooker, Lawrence Butler, Seth Brown. Those are the ones I'd look at. Yankees bats, it's pretty much everybody. Against Sevy, like Goldie has a home run against him. That is it. But I'm looking at Grisham, Rice, Judge, obviously. Probably Austin Wells. Depends if he gets in there. Jason Dominguez. Like the Yankees feel like one of those. Another one that we want to do 2+ stacks of today. So that's kind of what I'd look at in this one. I don't trust Severino. Don't know if I trust Clark Schmidt. So I'm probably just looking at bats because, we got 4 games. You got a couple more teams to look at. So we got Baltimore at the Angels. It's not been 100% confirmed, but Eflin should be coming off the IL on Thursday. It said more than likely starts Sunday. So we don't know. He does have a good matchup here. He's the 2nd best matchup against the Angels because they strike out the most. The problem is he hasn't pitched in over a month. He did come in 6 innings and 1 strikeout against Arizona. Now, the Angels do strike out. I don't know how long he'll be in this game. Veteran hurler only threw 58 pitches in his lone rehab outing. So, yeah, I could see his workload being very limited. That's what scares me here. Yeah, he is a good matchup. I just don't think he'll go deep into the game. Then you got Tyler Anderson going up against Baltimore, 268 batting average. He has not faced him this year. Coming off a great start against Toronto, not so good in the middle there. So if we look at that, now overall, Tyler Anderson in his career, 53 plate appearances against Baltimore, 261 batting average. Against him, like Gunnar has a home run. Tyler O'Neill has 2. We love to take Tyler O'Neill on Mother's Day, is like opening day, against a lefty. Give me that Bro O'Neill. Against lefties, though, they have not hit very well. I would still look at Tyler O'Neill. I know he's batting .095 this year, but I'm taking him. I'm taking Cedric Mullins. I would look at Ryan O'Hearn. Maybe Gunnar Henderson. Just some of them that have had success against Tyler Anderson. I'm okay with that. Angels bats, I'm really not looking at any of them. If it is, in fact, Eflin, no one's had... I mean, Travis d'Arnaud batting .353. You could look at him. Zach Neto batting .292 against righties. Adele batting .232. Soler is questionable, so you can look at him if he's in there. Shanawell I could look at. Maybe Moncada or Logan O'Hoppe to finish it out if you guys do want an Angel stack there. It just depends on how deep Eflin's going to go in the game. He probably doesn't make it through 5 unless he's very efficient. It's hard to kind of talk about that game a little bit. Arizona at the or Dodgers at Arizona. Tony Gonsolin versus Zach Eflin. Gonsolin, 57 plate appearances in his career, 208 batting average. Eflin, 191 with a 240 batting average. Or Gallen, not Eflin. Gallen comes in, has not faced the Dodgers this year, has back-to-back really good starts against the Mets, who they're supposed to be a really good hitting team. Obviously, the Dodgers are a different team. He's had success against them. Tournament-wise, I'll put in a little bit of Gallen. Gonsolin comes in with a 4.09 ERA. Only 2 starts under his belt, both against Miami, so he's got a lot of confidence, but those are bad teams. He is 9,200 against an Arizona team in Arizona. I don't want Gonsolin at that price. I don't at all. I would look at Arizona stack here. So Josh Naylor's the first one that comes to mind So anyone against, now nothing much. Against right-handed pitching, like Ketel Marte, I would look at. Josh Naylor batting .320. Suarez batting .243, which is above league average, has 10 bombs. You got Corbin Carroll with 10 bombs. Like, that makes a ton of sense. And if you need a couple more, maybe a Pavin Smith. Maybe we look at Alec Thomas. Just depends on the lineup that comes out. And then if you don't trust Gallen, because he has struggled this year a little bit, Freeman has 2 home runs against him. Betts has a home run. Muncy has 1. Conforto, Outman, Chris Taylor, they all have home runs against him. So those, I mean, it just depends on the lineup that comes out. Otani's obviously another one. He's got 10 bombs against righties this year. Batting .280. In this ballpark, the ball does fly out of there. I could definitely see all of that combined. So pitching-wise, I'm probably not looking at those 2 at all. And then Toronto at Seattle is the final game of the afternoon. So you got Bryce Miller versus Jose Urena. Urena comes in 8.59 ERA. Obviously, signed with the Blue Jays a couple of weeks ago, has not done anything. Getting to start here. Bad. I'm looking at Seattle. I do not trust him whatsoever. And then Bryce Miller coming in, 4.15 ERA. Bad start against the Athletics. We did take the Athletics against him. Had a good start against the Angels, which he's supposed to because they strike out a ton. I don't really like that. I don't know if I'll play much of this slate here. Maybe more just sports betting. But if we look at this here, looking at the bats against them, Zach Gallen, or wrong one. Click the wrong one. Meant to go to this one. And before we finish, the key phrase of the day is word to your mother, because it is Mother's Day. So I don't know how many mothers actually watch me, but happy Mother's Day if you do. I would love to know if there are actual mothers that watch me. There's a couple that are female, but I don't know if they're moms. But if not, you could be a dog mom or a cat mom or a iguana mom or something. But let me know. Would love to know. So Seattle bats against Urena. No one's really had success, but I'm all in. Polanco batting 349. Would not surprise me if he goes for a couple bombs. Cal Raleigh, 9 home runs. Crawford, 303 with a home run. J-Rod, 239 with 3 home runs. Tellez, like, give me Seattle. Seattle's another one where I'm probably looking at 2+ different stacks of Seattle against Urania. Toronto bats against Bryce Miller. Like, Santander is a home run, but he is struggling this year. Against Urania pitching, though, Santander batting 208 with 5 bombs. Springer batting 300. Varsho batting 316. Bichette batting 300. You could look at all of those. I'm not looking at pitching at all in that game. And there you have it. That is the afternoon slate completed. We've done the main slate, the afternoon slate. The only thing left is the Sunday Night Baseball game, which we will do a separate video on that. So that being said, we are going to look at our matchup tool now. We're going to look at all the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. A lot of them are the San Diego, Colorado game that we can't play on DraftKings, but the record is 38. We're not going to beat it today. I don't even know if there's 20. There might be 20. So, according to the first 10,000 sims, we do 20,000 a day. First 10,000. Number 1, Jackson Merrill. Number 2 is Tatis. 3 is Machado. 4 is Luis Ariz. 5 is Jake Cronenworth. So the top 5 are all San Diego bats. 6 is Freddie Freeman. 7 is Bogarts. 8, Kyle Tucker. 9, CJ Abrams. 10, Juan Soto. 11, James Wood. 12, Jorge Polanco. 13, Cal Raleigh. 14, Isaac Paredes. 15, Luis Garcia. 16, Vladdy. 17, J-Rod. 18, Yandy Diaz. And 19, Rowdy Tellez. So you can see, like I said, stack Seattle. There's 4 there. Pretty much the entire San Diego game. Washington's another stack that it's loving in the top 15. Or top 19. So, as we said, we've got some great numbers there. If you want to see all 10 out of 10 matchup ratings, all the way down to minus 10 out of 10, check out the website. You can click on that right there. So, that being said, we are going to do pitches be crazy. So, we're looking at the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. So, number 1, Nick Pivetta at Colorado, a game we can't play on DraftKings. Scares me a little bit because Pivetta has struggled a little bit, and it's in Colorado, but Colorado strikes out 9.82 times per game, 9.63 at home. Zach Eflin strikes out Zach Eflin against the Angels. The Angels strike out 9.7 times per game, 10.06 at home. 3 is Seth Lugo. It is a pitcher's ballpark going up against Boston. Boston strikes out 8.95 times per game, 9.6 on the road. Number 4 is Ronel Blanco versus Cincy, 8.93 times per game. Cincy strikes out 9.86 times on the road, so they are worse at home or on the road. And then number 5 is Luis Severino. I don't know if I agree with this one. Going up against the Yankees, 8.92 times per game they strike out. Yankees currently strike out 10.29 times on the road. Now, looking at all of that, again, that's Pivetta, Eflin, Lugo, Blanco, and Severino. I don't know how much of exposure I will have to those, but I wanted to give you the top 5. And then we look at bases. So we are doing our Makin bacon. So batters we think could get 2+ bases in this game. Again, it's San Diego's the big one. Luis Ariz, number 1. Number 2 is Jackson Merrill. 3 is Tatis. 4 is Machado. 5 is Freddie Freeman. 6 is CJ Abrams. 7 is Bogarts. 8 is Jake Cronenworth. 9, James Wood. And number 10 is Luis Garcia versus Miles Michaelis. And then we look at the strikeouts. So the strikeouts, and again, these are what I would target. I'm not necessarily using all of these, but you can target it either for DFS or sports betting. But Mackenzie Gore, if you could find a line for 7+ strikeouts, I would probably smash that. Zach Wheeler against the Guardians, 6 to 7, if you can find that line. Chris Sale, the line is at 6.5. I could go up to 7 or 8. I feel comfortable with that. Number 4, I would look at Ronel Blanco against the Reds. I would look at about 5 to 6. Nick Pivetta versus the Rockies, if you could find 5 or 6. But again, Coors always scares me a little bit. And then, yeah, that's it. Gore, Wheeler, Sale, Blanco, and Pivetta are the ones that I'd look at as of now. Now, these are through 10,000 sims. We do 20,000 a day. So if you want to see all of them, make sure you check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. We still have a handful of passes left for the yearly pass. Normally $199. You can get it $100 off for Mother's Day if you guys are interested. So please email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. We'll set you up. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever you got, we'll try and set you up. First come, first serve, though. So once you guys are done, that's it. First come, first serve. So good luck on this Sunday. Make sure you tune in for the Sunday Night Baseball breakdown. That video, it might already be out. Depends on when you watch this video. Let's have a great day. We got NASCAR as well. And then we're back on the grind with MLB, PGA, MMA, NASCAR for the next week. So good luck. And as always,